You're listening to a Listen Frederick podcast. Local podcasts, live radio. It's Listen Frederick.
And now, your hosts of Steeples and Peoples podcast to tell you about all things Frederick County, Maryland. Here's Mark and Terry Meriday.
In 1979, it started. Then, 2 years later, a migration to Frederick County occurred, and a small piece of land was purchased with the dream of growing a vineyard and creating one of the best wines that your palate could enjoy. The Steeples and Peoples podcast visits Elk Run Vineyards and talks with majority owner Fred Wilson. Fred shares with us what led him to the Mount Airy location, how his passion became a reality, and the growth they have had since their humble beginnings in the early 1980s. Fred tells us about where you can find his delightful product aside from the vineyard. He talks about the products that they have and what is their number one seller. If you're looking for entertainment, Elk Run offers that as well. The scenic drive and quaint setting is worth it. And topping it off with some of the best wine you may ever enjoy adds to this incredible experience.
Welcome everyone to this episode of the Steeples and Peoples podcast. As we journey around Frederick County, you always find these neat little places you like to pop into and just check out the atmosphere and see what they have going on there. Terry, can you please share with everybody where we are today?
We are at Elk Run Winery. We're in their beautiful tasting room. And we're here with Fred Wilson. And welcome, Fred.
Hello.
So your position and role here, you're one of the owners?
I am the major owner, winemaker.
And winemaker. Good. That's an important role here at the winery.
We hope so.
Good. A little bit of maybe history about you. Have you always been into winemaking or?
No, I was graduated in engineering from Virginia Tech and University of Tennessee, and then got the wild hair, and my wife and I set out on this journey.
Where are you from originally then?
Virginia.
You are from Virginia. Good.
Good wine country.
How'd you get that? You bought the land here? Or
Yeah,
how
we
did
were
that all
looking
come
for
about?
land to plant vines, and we looked a long time in Virginia, but it's both far from my work, which was with the Navy, and expensive. So
Come up here to Frederick County and
it was
found the land a
cheaper
little
up here.
cheaper?
Well, we bought a smaller piece of land, something we could handle at the beginning, and then expanded from there.
Fred, how'd you get into brewing wine? Or, I shouldn't say brewing wine, made wine.
Oh, we had an old friend and some new friends that were into it, and it's a romantic type of situation. So we figured, what the heck, it'd be a nice thing to retire to.
Absolutely.
And
It's like a hobby.
but it's a lot of work
You know,
too.
minion. Sure, sure. Where'd you come up with the name?
Elk Run is a stream that goes through Madison County and across 95, I guess, or under 95. And we tried to put a contract on a piece of land there that we liked. We had to form a business association, in order to do that. We did that, and the deal fell through. So, but I have a stream across the street that is that we have named Elk Run. The state doesn't know that yet, but
But that's what you call it.
That's
Right.
our secret.
That's pretty neat how you brought a piece of where you were to here and kind of, makes you feel like you have that connection still to where you were.
So you started small and then you've expanded? What
Yeah.
initially did you?
first acreage was 2.5, which is what is on this property. And then after some years, we purchased the property across the street and expanded to about 20 acres.
Oh, nice. It's beautiful out here.
Fred, I enjoyed that Cabernet Sauvignon that you.
Well, I'm glad you did.
It was very good, actually. And so let's talk a little bit more about the different types of wines you have. What all do you make?
We make too many. But
Too much work.
we make Bordeaux wines and assortment of other wines that I like and ones that I don't necessarily like. But they
other
sell.
people like,
That's right.
Funny thing about Bordeaux, because we went there and we had some wine, and yours is just as good. So congratulations.
Well, thank you.
From our taste.
I really enjoyed that. What's the number one seller?
Sangria.
Really?
Yeah. And Sweet
Sangria.
Catherine.
And do you like sangria? Or is that one of them you don't like?
I like it on occasion. I don't drink it very often, but
I like sangria in the summer.
right.
More, you know what I mean?
Yeah. What's your wine of choice? You were going to sit down and just have a glass, which I'm sure you do on occasion.
Oh, I think Cabernet Franc or one of the Chardonnays.
Nice.
Good, we're in this nice tasting room. Can you share with us? You have actual tastings. Should we come in and just two people come in and try, or do you have group things? Or?
Both. We're doing flights of 3 now. Eat 3 of your choice. They come in those little glasses with on wine barrel staves, and then you can buy glasses or bottles.
Cool. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, in terms of your club that you have yourself a wine club. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Well, we've got 3 actually. One is a case club where you get a certain discount if you buy 12 or more. The other one is a cellar club, and you get 15% off if you buy 6 or more. And the other one is a collector's club, where we put out new releases or older wines. We always include an older wine, 10 or 15 years old, so that people will get an understanding of how the wine ages.
I don't know if we asked this. Maybe this went over my head. How long have you been here?
No.
Since 1980.
Oh, wow.
Good. And can you tell me a little about the grapes? I find that very fascinating. Do you have different types?
Yeah, each variety, Cabernet, Pinot Noir, is a different vine, a different variety. We have them planted in separate places, and you have to take care of them separately as well.
Do you ever cross-pollinate?
No. Grapes don't need pollination, and most all the grapes that are planted these days are grafted. Therefore, pollination doesn't really come into it as far as propagation is concerned.
So how does drought? We have like a drought this summer, or too much rain. How does that? Have you ever had any years that just were bad?
Yeah,
how does the weather affect you?
2018 we had not much of a crop at all.
No.
Because it rained 3 or 4 days out of the week. You couldn't get the tractor in, you couldn't spray adequately, those types of things. So the weather is a big player in vineyard and farming in general.
I can imagine. You have a nice little room over there, the champagne room. I know you rent it out, but you also had weddings and things like that on the property. Can you talk a little bit about those things that you have available?
Yeah, we have events as well. We have a tent that we have out there permanently during the warm part of the season, and we can rent, other tents, and And so we encourage people to come out and participate.
How does the winter fare for you once are you busy inside? Do you have the same hours?
We're closed Monday and Tuesday generally in the wintertime. And in the middle, late 80s, we had very cold, wet winters down below zero. And we haven't had that because of global warming, of course, really since the mid-90s. That doesn't mean that the climate can be variable and it can have an impact. But we're not so worried about, back then we were worried about vine deaths, killing the vine with the low temperatures. We're not really worried about that these days. It's mostly the fungus problems that we have due to the rain.
I always tell people it's global warming, I imagine. I moved to Maryland in the late 90s, and I didn't own a winter coat for like 5 years. I come from upstate New York, where you get like 20 feet of snow a year. But I imagine just this business, the weather really impacts you. You have a nice patio too, I think, just for entertaining.
Yes.
Purposes. There's a few dogs here too that we've fallen in love with. So,
Weekly events. You have stuff that happens weekly on a regular.
Well, we have tastings, of course, with various groups. This year, my son put on a series of events that were oriented toward Hogwarts and Harry Potter, and that brought in a lot of people, and it's very successful.
do you have any annual kind of bigger events that you do?
Well, we, of course, are a member of the Maryland Winery Association, and it has some major wine festivals, Wine in the Woods in Columbia, Maryland Wine Festival in Westminster, and a bunch of other things. So those are the biggest ones that we participate in.
Do you enjoy going to those things, or is it just like, oh God?
Are you sending others?
Well, my son does most of that these days.
As you hold down the fort here,
Yeah.
you send him about his way.
You have some partnerships in the community. Like, we can come here and buy, obviously, a bottle, 6 bottles, 12 bottles. Where else could we find you? I know there's probably too many places to list.
There are
Just a few.
retail stores on our website. Is a page on stores. You put in your zip code,
Zip code, sure.
but we always tell people to call in advance, make sure they have the wine, because sometimes they'll run out. Yeah.
Sure. You mentioned you're in the wine kitchen carries some Elk Run.
Say
Is that right? The wine kitchen?
wine kitchen.
I know
Yeah.
that they have some Elk Run.
Good. Fred, I know you said that you are closed, what you said, Monday and Tuesday. The other days of the week, what are your hours?
They're 10 to 5. During the summertime, it's 10 to 5, Monday through Saturday, 12 to 5 on Sunday, and we're open until 9 o'clock on Friday nights for Wine Down Friday.
Look at the wine closed earlier. That's nice to have kind of some of those late hours. Do you do you know your website and social media handles? We probably should have.
Bridget knows that,
Neil.
and
Yeah,
Julian,
that's okay. I think
he'll
we're
be
Elk
finished in
Run.
there.
Either Elkrun.com
Soon.
or Elkrun. Anyway, you can find Elk Run on their website and on different social media handles. When we came in, there were some people here. There's a group now behind us. Just a very welcoming tasting room. So I hope anyone who we've never been here. We've had your wine. Elk Run wine, but we have never been here to your tasting room.
Well, I'm
So
glad you could come.
It's very exciting out here in Mount Airy. Beautiful view, nice place.
I like it. It's welcoming. It's
Yeah,
clean.
it really is. I think the dogs help too.
Yeah. They've got two awesome dogs.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah, the people love them, and they're very friendly.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes. They're not killer attack dogs, so no one has to worry about coming into the tasting room. Well, thank you, Fred, for joining us, telling us all about Elk Run
You're welcome.
Winery.
Wonderful meeting you too.
Yeah, my
Have
pleasure.
This Cabernet Sauvignon, I guarantee.
I had a wine that I'm not going to pronounce. What was it?
Gewürztraminer.
Yeah. It was really good. It's a little bit sweet, a white wine. And thank you, Fred.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
It was really quite exciting to sit down with Fred and have him tell us about his vision. You can find the Elk Run Vineyard website at elkrun.com, and their address is 15113 Liberty Road in Mount Airy, Maryland. Their phone number 410-775-2513. Their days and hours of operation, May through September, they're open Tuesday to Thursday, 10 to 6, Fridays, 10 to 9, Saturdays, 10 to 6, and Sundays, they're open 12 to 6. In October through April, they're open Tuesday through Saturday, 10 to 5, and Sundays, noon to 5. You can also find them on Facebook and on Instagram. Both of those are Elk Run Vineyards, and they do make some TikToks, so get out there and search and find them for those. Follow and connect with us here on the Steeples and Peoples podcast by checking out our website, steeplesandpeoples.com, where we have updated pictures from all the people we visited and all the places we've been, as well as our new store opening up. Join our Facebook group at Steeples & Peoples. Join our conversation on Twitter, as well as reach out to us on Snapchat. Those are Steeples Peoples. And also follow us on Instagram, watch our TikToks, and check out our YouTube channel where we put up some of our episodes now. We're getting better with that, to be honest with you. Those are all Steeples and Peoples. Feel free to let us know if you have any comments, questions, suggestions for future guests. Whatever you need, reach out to us on Gmail at steeplesandpeoples@gmail.com. Thanks to Steve Medley for doing our voice intro. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and join us weekly.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow us to find out what's going on in all things Frederick County, Maryland. And join our Facebook group to enter our weekly giveaways at Steeples and Peoples.
Live radio, local podcasts, the Frederick Podcast Network at listenfrederick.com.